Hi everyone, welcome to the Cloudy Desk. I'm Claudia, and this is my first YouTube video, so hi. I thought today, to get started, I would show you my letter pouch and sort of how I keep my mail supplies all together, because in the thing that has brought me most into the sort of fountain pen stationery community is letter writing. I love writing mail, I like getting mail, and it's something that I can then feel less guilty about spending money on, because I'm spending money on things that I can then send to other people and make them happy. It feels less like I'm just buying things for myself. So for now, I do use this Lihit Lab A5 organizer pouch. I don't remember the exact name. I did get it from Jet Pens years ago, like 2017, 2018, sometime around then. But I believe it is still on their website. I will include the link in the description in case you want to see it. And this pouch originally wasn't being used for mail supplies. It was what I used in grad school, because it was really useful, because I could fit my sort of A5 notebook here in the main compartment, and that's what I used to take notes in all my classes. I had one notebook that I divvied up into sections. I put my sort of main fountain pen that I was using here, and I had, I think, a couple highlighters here. I had them color-coded by class, my notes, so I had a couple highlighters stuck in there, and then a couple other, I think, bits and bobs. In addition to carrying around sort of my class notes, is I had this tiny Leuchtturm, I don't even know exactly what size, notebook that's sort of tucked in. I think it was in this pocket. And this is sort of how I first got into using fountain pens. Is I used to be a cartoonist. I drew a lot of comics, and I would make small comics that I sold. And I usually did personal comics about my life, but when I would draw big things that I was going to be printing and selling, I used dip pens. Actually here. I would just use a dip pen and ink, but that meant I couldn't draw on the go, which is how I first sort of got really into fountain pens. Was it gave me that same sort of feeling when I was out and about, because I had used like microns and other things like that, but it just never felt right for me for drawing. And so this was my little on-the-go notebook. Mostly did journal comic-y things, so this is how I first got into both journaling and fountain pens. You can see here in the beginning it got wet, and this was before I was using water-resistant inks, and that's when I switched to using platinum carbon black, which is still my go-to black ink. But I actually do really miss drawing in this size. I think it must be like A7. Maybe someday I'll bring that back or use my TN passport similarly, but beside the point. So I had this in here, my class notebook, my pens, my highlighters, and that's what I carried around. But after I graduated, I didn't really have a use for this, so it's sort of just been sitting. And I recently got back into letter writing and wanted something where I could put all my bits and bobs in, so that way if I wanted to go write letters in the living room or in a cafe or somewhere, I could just sort of grab this and have everything to go. And I am like very tempted by getting either something new, either the medium Delphonics pouch or like the Hobonichi drawer pouch, but I have this. This works, and I'm trying to sort of remind myself that I don't need something shiny and new. This is working great for me. I don't really have any major complaints about it, and if I were to get something new, I don't know what I would use this for. So, ta-da. But to go through sort of how I'm currently using this, see, I have two gel pens here. I have a white and a brown. I don't write with them primarily, but I do have some letter sets that aren't fountain pen friendly, so I'll use these for them. And so I have a white if it's like darker pages, and then a brown if it's a lighter. So those I just sort of leave in there. In this small front pouch is where I keep all my washi samples. So I have a bunch. I have recently started switching to using bulk Pokemon cards that my husband has lying around because they actually work really nicely as washi sample cards, and I don't have to buy things for them because they're sort of smooth and coated. It lifts off really nicely. So as I finish up these that are on cardboard, I'm going to then load them up on these cards. So you can see I have a little Pikachu. So I have a couple samples. I sort of have some, I like to get washis that are male themed and things like that. So I'll stick those in here. I actually have another sample card I should put in here while I'm thinking about it. One sec. Yeah, so this card was gifted. It's a Inky Converters washi card with washi that Simona from Simone gave me. So while I'm thinking about it, let's tuck that here with my others. Then here in this bigger pouch, this is the one that's sort of been beat up the most. I have all my stamps, and I have way too many stamps. I love buying stamps. I don't even think this is all my stamps because I recently gave a sheet to my husband because he's been mailing things. But I have sort of all the stamp sets that I've collected over the years, mostly forever stamps. I've got some international, my favorite, the Ursula K. Le Guin. She's my favorite author. Women's soccer, couldn't not. The Lighthouse set from this summer. Oh, I really enjoyed using these railroad station ones, actually. These have been my go-to lately. They're so pretty. I know this is probably not the piece you're most interested in, but it's one of the things I like most about sending letters, is picking the stamp that goes on each one. Botanical Garden, or American Gardens, I guess they aren't all Botanical Gardens, but. And then some postcard stamps. Very excited about all of those. So those live in here. Then in these two front pockets, I have postcards. So either from places I've gone, so this is from Blue Stockings, I have a couple, three, Yoseka, Nico Neko Zakaya, a couple from there. This is from the Brooklyn Botanical Garden, the American Folk Art Museum here in New York City. Got a bunch from that, and buy postcards whenever I go places, so keep those there. And then over here on this side are just sort of like miscellaneous postcards from things that aren't from places I've gone. Like I got a Nintendo set. This is one of those sort of watercolor drawn postcard kits. I have the 100 flower postcard box thing, which I have like 10 different artists, 10 different designs from each one. So I pull out some of those just so I have some with me on the go. Then in the main compartment, this is a double zip. Just make sure I keep this sort of all mostly on screen. I have some random bits and bobs that came in various stationery orders. So these are things I can throw into some letters. And then I have this really cute tiny envelopes and note cards. I feel like this is probably going to be used more for presents than for mailing things, but I just love that little bear, little fish. Love bears. Some more bits and bobs. Now this is I think it's the Midori, the Midori Fall postcard series. I think I have some more of those later. I really love these Life envelopes. I got another set, but they're not this size and shape, and I really like this one, so I do need to buy some more. Oh yeah, some more of those Midori, and then I just have various other letter set things. So this is from when I went to the American Folk Art Museum. I got the Cheese Bend letter set box. Oh yeah, these, I think I'm going to start sending my wintry letters in that. It's more envelopes. This was also a gift. And then yeah, so like these, I think this is the, I can't remember the brand, but the paper isn't quite fountain pen friendly, so this is something like I'd use those gel pens for. Yeah, the rest of those autumn postcards, should start using those up. I have this sewing one, and then more museum letter sets. I think these were from the Met. This was the, oh, I love these. The USPS did letter set versions of their stamps, and so it's fun to use those with those stamps. My partner likes to keep all of those, like when companies mail you gifts so that you give them donations. So this is the Central Park Conservancy mailed us a set of letters. He kept them, which I always thought was funny, but I've started actually using them and it's pretty fun to have. So I'll have a nice wintry one. This is another one of those. I think this was from the, yeah, World Wildlife Fund. We have a couple of these very long, thin letters, but those are cool. These I think I got when I was in Italy. So it's like my very fancy letter set for very fancy letters. Deeply obsessed in addition to bears with mushrooms, so I recently got this. So this is something also I'll use the gel pens for. And then I've started decorating stationery or letter paper with inks. So I recently did a test. This is Rhodia, this is Tomoya River paper, and as you can see, probably unsurprisingly, the Tomoya River paper has more of the sheening and some of the shading on it. So I'm going to be using the Tomoya River paper going forward for these sort of ink splotches. And for these I use from Karina Loves to Plan. She's been doing the sort of plastic bag splotches, so that's what I've been doing for these, and it's been a lot of fun. These are some earlier ones I did, and this is sort of what will happen later as I sort of draw on them. So I had these red splotches that I turned into some poppies, added some other little decoration. This one did some like a house plant vibe with these green splotches. So this is what I'm gonna do. I got the Inkvent inks coming forward, so I think I'm gonna do some videos of doing this sort of style swatching each day with those inks, and then decorating some stationery to send letters on, because I just like making a very usable form of swatching. So that's all of sort of the letter supply stuff that I keep with me as I'm going writing letters. And then I have my mail notebook, which I know it's a waste, but I keep, because I love stamps so much, I keep some of my favorite stamps on here, just as like, so I don't hoard all of them. I have a couple. And then this is a stamp style washi from Studio Ghibli pictures, so I kept that on. This was just a leftover notebook from a conference I helped plan. We gave these away as freebies, and I got like a stack of them at the end. I won't show you the front half because that's where I keep all my friends' addresses, so I have them with me when I want to write letters. But then in the middle and going forward, you can see I use this to clean stamps as I'm going, but then I keep track of who I sent letters to, and I also keep track of what what stamp I used for them. That way I don't want to send people the same stamp each time. I want them to see the variety of stamps I have, and then I tuck in my people I need to write to list, and then if I have letters I need to respond to, I just keep them in here, so that way when I'm sitting down to writing some letters, I have everything I need with me. So this houses probably, I'd say, 90% of the supplies I need. There's definitely some stuff that doesn't fit in here, which is why I'm always tempted to get one of those other pouches, but it zips pretty well. Still works, carries most things. Because I use this for my gel pens, I don't have fountain pens in here, but I have my Galen leather 3-pen case, so I just bring that with me. But I also, in addition to buying mail-themed washi, I like to get mail-themed stamps. So I keep those in a separate box from all my other stamps, so that way I can decorate letters. I have a bunch. Like I said, I love bears, so I love this little one. Got a whole bunch. You've probably seen a lot of these before. They're nothing too. I had to get this since I'm mailing letters from New York City, a pigeon capital of the world. I love this one from Baumkuchen, and I've already inked up the back accidentally, but it still works. And then I've been experimenting carving stamps. So this is one of my first stamps I've carved. It's a little wonky, but I like it. If I'm going out to write letters, I have a little Altoids tin, which I didn't grab. It's over in my desk over there somewhere. I'll put a couple of these in an Altoids tin to take with me. And actually sometimes, depending how much stuff I have in here, I can pop the Altoids tin in this main compartment and it fits all right. So I'll grab that and an ink pad for on the go. So I have all of that. Additionally, I have some other letter supplies that they fit, but it gets really stuffed given everything else I have. So if I need any of these, I'll just grab what I need and stick it in. So I have some A5 Tomoe River paper, which is what I'm going to be using for those ink swatches or ink splotch stationery making for ink vents. So I have that. And then I bought, so this is one of those 100 pages mushroom themed, because again, obsessed with mushrooms, that I bought off Simone. She was selling it was lightly used, she said. I think she said she had used like 10 sheets or something off of Instagram, so I purchased that from her. And I love sending these. I just sent a bunch of sort of autumnal letters with them. Actually, there is a couple of these black pages. I sent some friends some Halloween letters using these, and I wrote with the white gel pen, and it was very fun. Yeah, so instead of carrying this whole thing around, if I know I want to use some of it, I'll pull a few sheets out and put it in here. That's something I kind of want to get, is one of those A5 clear folders, so I can put in here to put those stationery that I have decorated myself and like some blank pages from both of these just in there and keep them a little more safe together so they're less likely to get messed up. So that's my mail supplies, and this is sort of what I keep with me moving forward. Let me just, I can tidy this a little bit. But yeah, so I think I'm going to be making some ink vent videos in December. I'm not going to do it every single day. I'll probably do sort of roundups on the weekend, but that's what I'm imagining is my next set of videos. But if you have any questions for me or things you'd like to see either about my stationery or fountain pen collection, anything like that, let me know in the comments down below. And also, how do you organize your letter materials? Do you have a large Hobonichi drawer pouch? Because I've been looking at those and I'm so curious. And I've watched so many videos of folks who have them, trying to decide if it would work for me better. But yeah, I would just love to know. I don't know why I keep messing around with things here. I know people always like to make sort of the end screen look like a nice little thumbnail shot, but whatever. This is what I've got. Thank you so much. Talk to you soon.